Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. I'm never on this late in the day. Doing a couple things here, recording multiple places. Last time I did a live, it did not save. So I want to make sure this saves for everyone, because everything that I do is for us all. So I'm just going to wait a few more seconds here as people come on to talk about the gap. The gap, the greatness, the alignment, the potential, the purpose, the possibilities. And yes, those words are GAP. So I guess it would be gap, pa, 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 if you really wanted to look at it that way. So we're talking about conquering the gap, experiencing your truest, your fullest potential. It takes a lot of courage to do this because the gap is simply the distance or the space. Sometimes the distance is literally inches or millimeters or seconds. And sometimes that gap or that distance from where you are to where you want to be seems miles long or miles wide or infinite, that it's unattainable or impossible. So when you're stuck, when you're frustrated, when life becomes blah, when you're not feeling in alignment, and alignment is when things feel good and you're excited to tackle, to jump into, to experience life. But when you start blaming yourself, when you start blaming others, when you begin to think you aren't good enough or worthy, again, or for the first time, or still, the fear of losing it all, the fear of not being there yet, worried about time. The start of the gap is when you have this nudge, this inner knowing that there's a greatness, there's a truth, there's a desire to experience something new or more of. That's the start of the gap. You're here being, specifically doing, living life, and then you want more, or you desire more, or you want to experience something new for the first time. Maybe it's so radical that you don't even love what you're doing anymore, or you've fallen out of love with the person you thought you loved, or you lost something, you lost yourself, you lost a loved one. That is the beginning of the gap. But within the gap, there's a greatness, there's an alignment, there's an awareness to tapping in your truth, your fullest potential in so much possibility. The biggest challenge of the gap is really being comfortable in this discomfort of fear, of worry, of doubt, of scarcity, of lack, of who you are right now, and not allowing what you're feeling in that moment to define you. Because it's just where you are, it's not who you are. But as you're desiring to be or experience something completely new, and it doesn't match where you are right now, there's a disconnect, there's a gap. And we can accelerate the process of getting through the gap by always tapping in and owning our truth. Who are you? Who do you stand for? What do you desire? Why do you desire it? What's going to be required of you? Because all the resistance right now, everything that you're feeling, the resistance of, or the lack of, is because your truth knows you are meant for so much more. It doesn't necessarily mean you leave the person, the job, or the thing, or the experience, but who are you going to evolve into to take it further? Who are you going to evolve into as your truth that maybe you thought you were living your truth, but we're meant to grow and evolve. We're meant to expand. We're a soul that is so expansive, connected to divine consciousness, God, source, universe, whatever you believe in. And that source is connected to all of us, within us, and it's in our soul, it's in our truth. Yet we are a soul inside a ton of cells that are regulated by energy, and that is it. Cells make up organs, make up systems, make up our body. And this is why we're having a human experience. But we have this disconnect. We have these frustrations. We're in flow. We're excited. We're living life. And then we get discouraged, or we get let down, or things don't feel good. Or they don't seem like they're working out, or we just can't get enough time. We just can't get enough money. We just can't. And this cycle of lack mentality becomes the hamster wheel, becomes the new norm. And what you focus on, intentionally or not, whatever you're focusing your energy on will continue to grow in your life. And you've probably heard this by other experts out there, but it is so freaking true. Whatever you focus on, where your energy flows, is where your attention is. So if I'm giving my attention, intentionally or not, to not enough, lack, worry, fear, doubt, not good enough, things are going to continue to show up in life to prove that is true. This is why when I'm working with my clients in masterminds or one-on-one, when they say they can't do something, which very rarely happens, it's usually at the start of our working together, they say they can't do something, I agree, you're right. Because I'm not here to convince. I'm not here to give away power. I'm here to show up, activate what's possible within your potential, your way. And you believe that you can, you're right. You get to choose. But you don't have to say you can't do it. Just say, I don't desire it. If you don't desire it, that's okay. We are meaning-making machines, and we make ourselves feel wrong because we no longer desire something, and we made this commitment to someone, and now they have expectations and you have expectations, but now those expectations just don't feel good. That's living out of alignment. That's not living your truth. That's why it doesn't feel good. You desire more. You desire a new experience that feels good, and you deserve every freaking desire that you have. If it wasn't put in you, then it wasn't for you. But the desires that you're feeling, they're within you because they're coming from your soul, because they were for you. You're not meant to wait till someday when, or put it off because you don't think in the limited mind that you're worthy of it. And it doesn't have to be this way. But again, your attention is going to pull the energy in. The intention flows, energy flows. If you put the power of intention behind it and you choose intentionally, everything is possible. Hey, Amy. Everything is possible, especially in the space of uncertainty, especially in the times that things don't feel so good. Good. Wake up. What are you going to choose to do different? What are you going to declare? How are you going to be? Who are you going to show up as? Because here's the secret to this all. We all experience the gap. We all, especially successful people, it's over and over and over and over and over again. But do we choose to see it as scary and frightening and something that we'll never conquer? Or do we want to step in with confidence and clarity, own it, and say, guess what? I'm going through this one much more quickly than I did last time. Because last time is different than now. You're completely different than you were then. And I can promise you, because I know, not just because of my experiences, but the experiences that I've worked with other people, that when you own your clarity, when you own your confidence, when you tap into your courage, when you know your greatness, even when you slightly doubt it, but there's a little bit of ownership, that will ignite it and take it all the way. But it takes the awareness. It takes the understanding of everything is possible, especially in the times of uncertainty. And that is the most courageous people can be, is when things are very uncertain. Again, whether you've lost a loved one and things feel really rocky, whether you've lost a job, you've lost yourself, you're no longer in love, you're not worthy, or you don't love yourself. There's so many very specific tragic traumas that happen to us physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as we live this human experience. And I promise you, they will continue to happen till we take our last breath. Until we take our last breath. So we're going to keep putting off the things that we desire because we're afraid of the gap, because we're afraid of what it's going to take to go from here to here, or here to here, or here to here. It doesn't matter if it's this far or miles wide. I promise you, you can get through it like this. Or it might take a couple days, or it might take a couple weeks, but it's worth it. It is so freaking worth it. And it takes the confidence, it takes the courage, it takes more knowing and trust and faith than you've ever probably allowed yourself to feel. And it's going to happen over and over, because we're here to evolve. We're not here to just do and stay stagnant. Our cells will die. It'll be disease or disease in the body. It's just how it happens. I've worked with the best of the best in cellular health. We manifest dis-ease in the body and we label it disease, and then we mask the symptoms with medications. That's just our society. That's what most do, but it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. But if you believe that is the way for you, I'm not here to make you feel right or wrong, good or bad. I'm here to tell you anything is possible, especially if you can tap into the courage, tap into the confidence, trust and believe that it takes a strong inner knowing. If you don't know yourself and you don't know your desires, you're living out other people's dreams and expectations. And if you're okay with that and your life is fun and flipping fantastic, keep going. My mission is to make sure everybody on this planet, which is a lot of people, so I'm not going to do this alone. I'm doing this with other experts. I'm doing it with my breath coach. I'm doing this with my sound bowl coach. I'm doing this with my mindset coach. I'm doing this with my business coach. I'm doing this with my husband. I'm doing this with my neighbors. I'm doing this with my clients. Because when we do this together, life is done together. We all rise up together. It's a fact. There's so much science behind it. And this is why I do what I do every freaking day. But it's not thinking about it. It's not writing a goal at the beginning of every year. It's not journaling every day, even though these are all tools I highly recommend. Affirmations, journaling, breath work, meditation. But are you feeling it? Are you feeling your beingness of who you are and what you desire and the space of you're here and you don't have the experience yet? Because if you're not feeling it, go back and do it again, or quit doing those things. You're wasting your time. Drop in and feel what it's going to feel like when you experience more love, more connection, vitality, health, wellness, energy, an abundance of financial overflow. What will it feel like when you're here experiencing the feelings of what it's going to feel like here, and the gratitude in that? It's so powerfully magnetic. It will blow your freaking mind. People call it miraculous. People call it magic, because words can't explain it. There's so much science behind it. I don't have enough time this evening to share with you the science behind it, but it's there and it's true. And I'm sweating in my pants. It's such a weird feeling, sorry. There's so much science behind it. So at the end of the day, it does start with thought. But it's not thought alone. It's not an affirmation alone that's going to shift you out from here to here and take care of the gap. It's a consistency. It's an intention. It's a conscious living experience. And it's not going to be easy all the time. And I don't even like to use the word easy, because life does get to be easy and fun and flowy. But I promise you, it gets to be simple. We totally freaking flip-flopping it, make it so much more harder than it needs to be. We do. The thing between our ears, our mind, as limitless as it is, it limits us, because we haven't even wrapped ourselves around. The science is there a little bit, but there's so much we don't even know the brilliance of our brains. Yet it can talk us into and out of things we know we desire in a second. And we blame it. We blame it all the time. Well, I'm just not smart enough. I'm just not good enough. Well, I'll start next week, or I'll do it next time. Going back to prioritizing your priorities. What do you desire? Who are you showing up as before you even get to this point? And don't wait till someday when something happens or somebody does something for you in order to allow yourself to start to feel it. Feel it now. Because everything that you desire, there's a connection, there's a feeling we want to feel from that experience. Whether it's more money, more love, more connection, more adventure, there's a feeling associated that we're really desiring, is the feeling. So why aren't we feeling that feeling now? The high vibe feeling, or the gratitude of that, wow, I'm here. I was way over there before and I conquered that gap and that gap and that gap. And I'm here. And there's another gap that, man, these gaps seem to get bigger and harder and they feel like mountains. It's not even a gap anymore. I know this because I live it, I breathe it, I do it all the time myself and with my clients. But it gets to be easy and we don't have to do it alone. And when it is really hard and it's not easy, we can simplify it. We can simplify it and accelerate and collapse that time so that the gap isn't an impossible feat. It isn't that it's, I can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel type of gap. Because everyone says that first step is the hardest one to take. The first step does require some courage, but it's the third and the fourth and the fifth. But the problem is when we're here and we want to be over here, we're thinking about the 100th step and we haven't even done the second or third step. So no wonder our mind wants to keep us safe over here in the known. The unknown is freaking scary because we haven't embraced the excitement of possibility. If we can flip the script of like, well, this isn't scary. I don't know how this is going to happen. And I've never done this before, but be curious in the space of potential and possibility. Because in the unknown, in the space of uncertainty, in this gap, everything is possible. Most of my clients in the past have talked about business. I want to make this much money a year. I want to make $1 million. There's 1,000 ways to make $1,000. There's 1,000,000 ways to make $1 million. And I'm just saying, make it, allow it into your life. You can work really hard for it, or you can be smart, or you can do this, or you can do that. And I mean, 1,000,000, do we have enough time in the lifetime to talk about all the ways? No, we don't. I don't think so. Nor would I want to. I'm about just trusting, knowing what, knowing why, knowing where I want to go, and allowing the how to be the magic, allowing the how to be the experience that I get to soak in and celebrate with those involved. Allow it to be a full body experience, a belief that's so unshakable, people can think I'm totally ridiculous and crazy, and I just smile. And I just smile because it's okay. They don't get it. It's not their journey. It's not their gap. But the people who are curious and interested too are like, ooh, I want to go through that gap with you. I want the same thing too. What if we do this together? When I rise, you rise. When you rise, I rise. This is all for us all. And it's about showing up and being grateful before you're even there. Gratitude and love are the highest frequency. And if you don't understand energetics and frequency, I'm going to dumb it down here just for a few seconds. I'm going to dumb it down because I want you to get it. It's either you're the first time aha, light bulb goes off and you can at least start to understand. You might not fully wholeheartedly believe it, and that's okay. I didn't either the first time I heard about it. Total truth. It took me a little longer. I don't want it to take you this long. Energy and frequency. If you remember back in the day, this day and age, most people probably don't listen to the radio that much. But if you do listen to the radio, or you're old enough to know when we had radio, AM, FM stations, which still exist, if you listen to the radio, there's a frequency. So you're dialed in to the radio station frequency that you want to listen to. So are you dialed in to the frequency of love and gratitude? Because that frequency is the most magnetic to allow in more of what you desire into your life, right? That's what I mean by energetics. That's what I mean by frequency. That's what I mean by dialing in to your truth, getting crystal clear, having the courage to be uncomfortable in the gap, and having fun. We can choose to have fun, or we can choose to be grumpy about it. And either way, you're probably going to get through that gap. But life is more enjoyable with fun people. I don't know if you've ever been around grumpy people. I had a grandpa that we used to call Gramps, Grumpy Gramps sometimes. And I love him dearly. And he was fun. And our goal sometimes was just to get him to laugh and smile. So it was always like, put your shoes on and don't run in the house. And like, man, that's Grumpy Gramps, right? Don't sit in his chair when he's coming in, because he'll want to sit in his chair. But there were times, and the memories that I do really cherish and hold on to, where we would just be goofy. And then he was Goofy Gramps, right? And every attitude that's out there is contagious like the freaking flu. So the more people we have going around with more gratitude, more love, more light, more happiness, more bliss, living out their truest desires, living out their lives with conscious, intentional, aligned action, what type of world would this be? What type of igniting of just more fun and flow and ease would this world be? I can't even imagine, because we've only tapped the tip of the iceberg with people who are living consciously, intentionally out their freaking truth. Why? Because they're more comfortable being comfortable where it's safe. They want so much more over here, but that gap scares the bejesus out of them. And they don't know who to go to. They don't know how to cross it. They don't know how. And all they focus is on the how. And they focus on the lack of why they're not there yet, why they don't have it yet. Well, they're not smart enough, or they got to work harder, or they got to switch careers, or they got to find a new lover, or maybe because they didn't have the kids yet, or the dog and the white picket fence and the car and this and this, and they just spiral into the lack of what they think they need, instead of releasing all of that and just knowing what they desire, they deserve. And they have to tap into the what and why. The why is the feeling that what you desire is going to create for you, and feeling it now. And it takes a little bit of time for some people. It takes others. Boom, 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 boom. It literally can happen so fast. But it's your way. I can't share with you my way, because what will happen, you'll go, I'm going to go try to do Jackie's way. Oh, it's not working for me. Jackie's way doesn't work. Because it was my way. It's my wealth, my richness, my freedom, my gap, my way. And it gets to feel fun, right? So when I work with people, which by the way, a masterclass is coming up, shameless plug, July, 7 to 11 people. I'm not sure when I'm going to close the door, but I'm going to play around depending on the type of people coming in. This is for people who want to say F it to the freaking gap. F it to the gap. F it. Ease, flow, fun. That's what it stands for. F it. So if there's anything in your life that you want to say F it to, this is not holding me back anymore. I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm no longer settling to bring in X amount into my life anymore. I want to run my own business this way, or I want to quit this over here. I want to switch careers, or I'm feeling like I'm not worthy anymore, or I've hit this level of success and I don't know how to call in more because more sounds like more work, or I feel guilty for winning more because my life is freaking amazing. I have the this and the that and the this and the that, and I can bring things in with the snap of my fingers. All that I desire comes in very easily for me, and I still desire more, but now I'm feeling guilty for winning more. Those are the type of people that are going to be in this mastermind. This is the type of community that I'm allowing in 11 to 7 people, depending on where we go with this, to start to work together over the next 90 days, to go through the gap together. Because when we go through the gap together, things happen faster. You don't have to do it alone. And things that used to stop you or make you feel stuck Don't do that anymore. And if you've ever worked with a community where people are growing and get it together, it's usually that's why most programs out there that are by legit coaches or mentors are called accelerators. It accelerates the progress. It doesn't have to take you months and years or decades to get where that guru got to or that mentor got to, because now you're going to skip through a lot of their challenges and trials and errors because they get to help you. And a really good mentor will help you figure it out your way. They'll share examples, they'll share ideas, because there's, like I said, a gazillion and one strategies out there and they all work. But which one feels good to you is the one you get to choose to do. And if that doesn't work, assess, don't judge, take aligned action again. Awareness, assess, don't judge, take aligned action again, because we are meaning-making machines. But you deserve to step into your greatness. You deserve to be aligned. You deserve to have a great life. You deserve to love the life that you're in and live out your fullest potential. And this all triggered me in the past 5 years because I had a foundation of being a human performance coach, a human performance expert. Enough with the freaking performing, people. Doing. Yeah, you can get there. You can experience great riches, great wealth, performing and doing. It also can come at a great cost if it doesn't feel good. It could also lead to burnout, dis-ease, dysfunction in our human bodies, and the game can be over like that. Literally. But it doesn't have to be that way either. So if you are interested in doing the effort, time to break through and rise experience, DM me, ask me questions. I'll go through what that would kind of look like, a little bit more detail here in the next week. Actually, by the end of this week, I'm pretty much ready to share, but I'm just holding back a little bit because I want to make sure it really feels like the throttle can go full force. I'm not one to kind of just throw things out there willy-nilly like I used to. It works and it feels good, but I want to make sure it's full alignment, that this is the time. Because I was playing around with June, I was playing around with July, I was playing around with August, and I feel like sometime in July, no later than August, depending on the schedule of the people who are involved too. I want to be super flexible with that. I'm going to keep it open and intentional. Don't just start, but being intentional with the start date so that works for all. So how are you conquering your gap? What words of wisdom are you taking away today? What are you integrating? What's been activated within you? Because I hear all the time, man, your podcast is great, Jackie. Awesome. What did you do with what you've learned? It's just like a book. You read this book, you read that book, you've taken this course, you've gone to another conference. Great. What was activated within you? What did you integrate? Because I'm not here just to talk and share things that sound good. Nobody needs more noise. There's enough noise in the social media digital world. I'm not here to add more noise. I'm here to wake people up. I'm here to activate. I'm here to help you integrate and embody what's possible for you and your fullest potential, and to start allowing people to live more consciously. Because when that happens, I can't wait. Can't wait to experience that in my community, digitally, here in my roots, where my home is. And I'm excited to share more of that with you soon too. So in the meantime, I'm sending you so much love, and allow yourself to have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Mwah. Till next time. crazy.